Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my newest creation, my Beetleweight combat robot, Long Man. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. I built this over about 2 weekends coming back from Motorama. This is competing tomorrow morning in STEAMfest, and this is not really a joke robot, but this is just something I made for fun, just to compete at STEAMfest. I've always wanted to kind of build a solid brick robot, and here it is. This is mostly a tribute to like Hal Rucker. He is the builder of Black and Blue, Crazy Susan, Whoops, and Duck from the BattleBot season. I wanted to build something that is extremely durable and basically just this huge brick, and here it is. The name is a reference to a Japanese commercial, a series of Japanese commercials. So if you look down below, definitely check out those. I have a YouTube link. It's hilarious, and that is kind of the basis for the name. And you might notice that the name is not in the typical naming convention of my robots. It doesn't have anything to do with psychology, and that is because this is just kind of a one-time, one-off robot that is just for fun. And as you can tell from the finish on this, it isn't meant necessarily to be competitive. This is just for fun. I find it hilarious that it is a polished aluminum block because that kind of goes against the concept and the spirit of combat. So in this video, I just kind of want to show you the internals, show you some little features about it, and then after the competition, we will see the fights and everything. But the competition is tomorrow morning. It's already getting late. I think it's like 6:30 right now. I still need to finish this up. I still need to pack and get some other things ready. So this will be a relatively short overview. So let's zoom in on this and see what Long Man is all about. So here is a close-up look at Long Man. It is 12 inches long, and the width and the depth, I guess, are 1.7 inches here and here. It's using these BaneBot wheels at the end, which are 1 7/8 inches, so they are just barely larger, and this can drive pretty much on all directions. So it can drive like this, that. So it's, I guess, invertible in all of the faces. In the back, we have the access for the switch and the LED. So let's see, that is the LED and that is a switch. This will probably not show up on camera, but there actually is a face that is engraved on here. I did a diamond drag tip, and there is a nice little face engraved in there because why not? You know, I'm already polishing this thing up, might as well just draw faces on it too. And here at the ends, I have nice little aluminum wheel covers or wheel guards. I'm using the BaneBot wheels and the BaneBot hubs, and these are the same hubs that I used on Anxiety Attack, and a lot of the electronics are the same. And what I did for the BaneBot hubs is I drilled them out and tapped them with 440 screws, so I have these nice little aluminum wheel guards on the end of each side, and of course those are nice and polished aluminum. Let me grab something to give you an idea of just what the finish looks like on this. So here is a lens cap for my camera, and you can kind of get an idea of the finish that's on here. A lot of the fingerprints and stuff shows up a little bit too much in the camera, just as glare. But you can get an idea of just the mirror finish that's on this thing. What I did is this whole thing was machined from a solid block. Once we take it apart, I'll kind of show you a little bit more of that. I started out and machined this whole thing basically upside down, you know, pocketing out this whole bottom side. And then once the machining was done, I faced all the outside surfaces off and then went over this with a sanding block, then steel wool, and then some rouge. So you know when you're building a robot for combat and you're using rouge, you have something wrong with you. I really am just not really sure how I got to this point in my life. I will need to reassess that for sure. But anyway, here I am. So that's pretty much it. The bottom side of this has these 2 access ports here and here. They are just aluminum panels. These are about 1/8 inch thick. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. that you undo, and that is how you access the internals. And this little hole here, it's actually not populated, but this is what holds the switch in place. I'm just using a finger tech switch, and you can access it then from this side. So that's really the only holes on the outside. The design goal of this, that when it's sitting like this, I really wanted it to look just like a solid block of aluminum. So the next thing to do is let's flip this upside down. I'll remove these two access panels and we can see inside. As I said before, there's 8 screws, and these are 440s. They're relatively small. And inside, this is actually relatively complex. I thought this would be a really simple build. I was like, I'll just build, this little bar with wheels at the end. It'll be really simple. Well, it's not that simple. And you can probably see a little hint right here. Yeah, there's a lot of magnets going on in here. Okay, so there's one access panel. And if you look, I've got N52 magnets in there. These are 1.26 inch diameter. I think that's like 32, 33 millimeters. These are actually quite powerful, extremely powerful magnets. And I've got 1, 2, and 3, 4. So let me pry up this side. And this side has the switch against it, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Of course, this thing's going to get dinged up just from me doing this video, but that's how this goes. So that is the inside. As you can see, it is quite tight inside. I've got 1 and 2 batteries. These are both 3-cell batteries. They're running in parallel just for extra capacity. And then I have the motors mounted inside this block of nylon X. So this is nylon X, and then I have these little gates that kind of just slide inside the channel. That is to keep all the guts from going into the moving components, because I've got outrunners in there just to kind of keep everything protected. We've got the LED that just kind of pops through, and then of course the power switch is centered right there so you can access it, and then everything else is just kind of crammed inside this center cavity. So yeah, that's what the inside looks like. Let me give you a better idea of what these little wheel pods end up looking like. So here is what constitutes the little drive pods. You see it has this profile on the outside, and that is machined into the channel here. So this just kind of slide in place, and this is the cutout for the magnets. It's just a little bit of a recess so the magnets fit. There's another recess right here for the secondary magnet, and this whole pod just slides out. I'm using the same drive system that I had in Anxiety Attack. I have a whole separate video about this. This is just a nice simple brushless gearbox system for a Beetleweight, and then I have this piece printed out of nylon X. This is a prototype one, and then this just kind of sets inside, kind of locks in place like that. And then I have 4 screws that hold it in, and then there's actually a brass bushing that sits around there to support the shaft. And so this is the assembly that just slides down inside the channel. I've removed the wheel and the little wheel guard here just to show you what one of the ends looks like, so you can see how everything just kind of slides down into the channel. And then we have our hub here that is drilled and tapped so that it can accept this little other shiny piece. And you can see I'm only have 2 screws in here right now. I actually need to go to the hardware store and get more screws, but yeah, you can see that everything just kind of screws into there. And let me take off the hub and I'll show you just how the bushing works. So with the hub removed, you can see the brass bushing that should fully support the shaft. I really like using plastic and nylon materials, UHMW, things like that for supporting all my drive components so they're not rigidly coupled to the frame. So we'll see how this goes. But as I said, this isn't meant to be like a serious contender. This was just kind of a 2-weekend build, just something to get something to enter into STEAMfest. And there were a lot of interesting design challenges with this. So we'll just kind of see how this works out. So that is my overview for Long Man. I'm really curious to see how it does. There's a couple little things that I'm not, too thrilled with. This was meant to be a 4S battery, but I ended up with 3S, so it's a little bit slower than I would like. I'd also like to tune the motors a little bit. I also want a little bit more discharge, and there's a lot of interesting things about this that I could have done different and or better, but it's just like a 2-weekend build. I just kind of threw this together, and it's still really fun and really neat looking. I wish you could hold it in person. It just feels really interesting. It's just this solid brick of aluminum. I love that. So some of you might be thinking, oh my God, this thing is going to get just so torn up, and yes, it will, but I did think about that. It is actually slightly underweight, so I have a little bit of a secret weapon. I have a polished piece of titanium that is the exact same size as one of these faces. Someone emailed me a little bit ago, and I've been playing around with this a little bit too, laminating different materials together. I have some carpet tape and some foam tape, and so the idea is I can take this piece of titanium and actually glue it to the front. So this is one of those things that I'm not going to show until later on in the competition. After, I do the safety and check in and everything, then I'm going to break out the titanium. But you guys are watching this after the competition is done, so I'm showing you my little trick. But it is not just going to be a solid block aluminum, it's going to be a solid block of aluminum with a titanium front on it. So if there's any horizontal spinners like Rumham or any vertical spinners, they'll actually be coming into contact with the aluminum or the titanium front instead. So we'll see how that goes. That might help protect the finish a little bit more. I didn't really go into the electronics that much because they're not terribly interesting. If you want to learn more about the electronics, just check out my anxiety attack video. I basically just took the electronics out of anxiety attack and dumped them in here, so it's almost the exact same electronics that are in there. As always, thanks for watching. Check out my Facebook page for any more updates about my projects and various things like that. And as always, thanks. See you next time.